Hello everybody on YouTube that's looking for the information on how to test a 5R4 tube on a Hickok model 539C. I've been having this machine a while, and then when I go to check different tubes, I like to kind of keep a record. If for no other reason, I can go back to these YouTubes and refresh myself on the methods of testing certain tubes. This is the tube I'm interested in today. The 5R4 is a reflector tube, if I'm not mistaken. The Hickok 539C tester often has these little pictures here to indicate certain processes that you have to go through to test different tubes. So before I get to the selector switches, which are fairly simple, I've got a notation that came with this machine from the old gentleman that had it before I did. And as we can see in this, we've got a star, and we've got kind of what looks like a little, I don't know what you say, a little gourd shape insignia. So we're going to read for these tubes to see what the star and this little shape means. Now the star says a star indicates emissions tests only, and good tube should read above mark. Reflectors and diodes okay. For that we look at this this gauge, and we're going to see up here it says reflectors and diodes okay, and this is the mark that it's got to be above in order for that tube to be good. Now it could be anywhere in this range, but for the tube that we're testing, if it drops below this line, then we know we got problems. Okay, now the next line is this little gourd looking gizmo here, and she reads a symbol with that little gourd shape, and the notations columns indicates that short in position A is normal. Now when you test with the 539C, you go through these short selectors. Always go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on this side, back up, then go A, B, C, D, E. Now when you're on this side where it says neon lamp, you focus on this this lamp here, the shorts light. And if you got a problem, this light is going to come on. It'll either burn dull or stay constant on. A short blip in one of these positions, it's either 5 or 1 or 2, I forget. But if you get just like a blip, that's normal. That is a capacitor that is discharging as part of the test mechanism in the machine. So just a short blip of light is okay. Now when you go to this side over here, which is the ohm meter, then we start watching this. And if you got a problem or a short, this needle is going to come up, or even if it comes up a few megs, it'll give you an idea of what shape that tube is in. Now we're going to get started on reading the selector switches. Now it says the filament is 5.0, and so we come here. Here's your filament selector, and we put that on 5.0 like it says. Now for our selectors, it says JS 06000. So this is our selectors right here for this machine. So we're going to put it on JS 0600 and O. Okay? So the bias volts, these reflector tubes don't require bias volts, or I should say most all of them, but it's going to be on 0. Now here's your bias volts up here, and here's your knob. You can see if you were to turn that knob, your gauge would come up. This putting the volts into a certain pin of these tubes. So you bring that down to 0. You don't need volts for this test. Okay, now the shunt has got to be on 83, and on this machine here's your shunt right here, and you put that on 83 as it says. Now the button that you're going to push, but you don't want to do this till you get everything set, is P3 is what that means. Here's your P3 button, and this is how you're going to test. It even says reflector for reflector tube right there on 3. This selector is going to have to be on a G, and you see right there it says for diodes and reflectors. Okay. Then we get to the star and the little gourd-shaped plant, which gives us the special notes. If you don't have that in the book, And it's a good idea to have it kind of taped up here with these those little things means as a quick reference. Then you're going to test the number one filter. Now I got this machine on, it's been heating up. And this is where this tube is going to go. Now that all our selectors are in place, this is we'll plug the tube in. Watch your short light; it'll kind of jump up. You see it go to glowing. That's normal. Now it's heating that tube up. Now we're going to watch the short light as we go through our switch, our short switch. Now we're going to do the neon lamp first. I'm going to position 5, no short. 4, you saw that little bit of a tiny blip. That's normal. That's capacitor discharging. And we're going to 3. 3 looks good. We're going to 2. 2 looks good. To 1. Now we're going back up to the test position. Run back through them. Now the notation said that a short, I believe it was A, was going to be normal. So wherever that short is going today, when we start going to this side, we're going to look at this gauge over here. Now I'm going to go to see if I can get both the switch and the gauge in there. I'm going to position A, and there's a short. I'm not going to leave it on there too long to stress that too, but it says it's normal for that to happen. So we're just going to go right past A to B. Okay, now you can see B's dropping down. There's no short on B. Go to C. There's nothing on C. That looks good. Go to D. A tiny bit of minute movement, nothing to indicate a problem. Then we go to E, and everything looks good on there. So now we're going to go back again, not staying on 8 for just a second, just to get back to the test position. So now we've tested for shorts, and the tube is cleared for shorts. The only short shown is on A, and as our diagram states up here, that's normal for this tube. Now we're going to push P3 for reflector. And it says on there that any reading above this reflector diodes is going to be good. We're going to make sure that we're on test voltage. There's a little tiny red line, just under 110 volts is where this test voltage should be for this machine. And we're going to push the P3 button. So make sure it's what it says, P3. Yeah, P3 button, and we're going to watch our needle here, see what she does. Okay. Now we've got a reading of, looks like 71, maybe 72. I'll call it 72, which is good. I don't like to hold those tests for very long on these reflectors. So that plate is good. Now in order to test the other plate, we're going to do everything that it says again, but we're going to change. You see, this is this is 5R4. This is going to be for one plate. If you look at this tube, you notice there's 2 sides. There's 2 plates. Here's a plate and here's a plate. Now we just tested the one plate. So to test the other plate, you go to the 5R4 right below it, and then you change these selectors to where they say it needs to be for that. And everything else, I believe, will be the same. Now once you change these selectors, you're going to do the same process you just did, and then you'll get the reading for the other side of that tube. And if you're lucky, they're both matched and even. And if you're even lucky, you can find 2 of these tubes that's very close, and you'll have a nice set of old 5R4. Okay, YouTube, that's how you check a 5R4 tube on a Hickok model 539C, a wonderful old tube tester. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for taking a look.